Happy Friday. My apologies on being late. I'm not quite prepared and it flusters me. But the question I wanted to ask is, do you see God in the details? So it's Friday, February 7th, 2025. I'm Cassie with Dream Big Today. And today I wanted to talk about a lot of things that Lori hit on this morning. The reading was so good, and every year we go through it and we hit this part, it's like so many details. But God is in the details. And I loved what she shared this morning about the acacia wood and how it's all growing together. So in rereading today, as I was getting ready, I think that the parable about the 3 servants with the bags of silver is what I want to talk about, because I think I focused for so long on how the master treated that servant. And what I think I missed until this time was that it was the view of the servant. The view of the servant that was given 1 bag of silver. He saw his master as a harsh man, basically unfair. He was harvesting crops that he didn't plant and gathering the crops he didn't cultivate. I was afraid, it says, I would lose your money, so I hid it in the earth. Here's your money back. So, in the servant's view, the master was someone to be feared. And I'm wondering, what are we believing in our Heavenly Father? What happened in life where we're believing who He is? Do we believe that He punishes us? That He takes away because we deserve that? That He's out to get us? That we can never measure up? The main reason we may not thrive in a talent, or in what we're given, is because of what we know and believe in our Heavenly Father. Are the details you know about God full of His grace, His love, His strength, His plan for you, His forgiveness, His comfort, His protection, that He's your provider, that He's all-knowing in everything, everything, in everything we face, of everything we've gone through, in everything in this world, in everything that we are? God is a detail that I think many miss, that I miss in a lot of stuff. And I think the parable, the master is upset about how the servant views him. And he's stuck in this view that he's not listening to the right, maybe he's not in the right crowd, maybe he's not listening to the right shows, reading the right stuff. That he's believing in the karma of it, or all the bad luck of life, or this is how the cards are dealt. Where are we going with all of this? If we focus on the negative of what happens to us, we won't see the light we are created to share. In every detail of our life, God is there. We read how detailed He is in Exodus today, which used to be really hard for me to read because it's so much stuff. And then I try to think about it, and that's too many letters or too many numbers, and it's... But think about every little stitch. God knew everything, and He gave them provisions for all of it. Through their surroundings, through their enemies, the temple was being built because of how they choose to use it, because of how they were told to use it. We read also in Psalms about how he's our fortress, that in our despair we should run to him in everything. Don't take credit for what he's done or given you. Give glory to God at all times. When you look to God through the lenses of Jesus, you can't go wrong with your talents. You won't take the credit for it. You will give the sacrificial giving along with the tithe. You will spend your treasure, talents, and time on him, for his kingdom. He has a plan in all of it. And if we can't see that and have hope in that and dig in more to what he has for us, it's holding us back. It's only us holding us back. We have the freedom to choose where to listen, where to read, like I said, what to watch. And when we don't dig in and learn more about him, when we take our eyes off of him, I think that's where, that would be frustrating. He did call the Israelites stupid, stiff-necked people because they never got that. And then they needed a king. I don't want anything else to be my king but him. And I think a lot of times we fear what God's given us, that either he'll take it away or that we won't use it correctly, so then we don't use it at all. And when you step out of your comfort zone and trust God in all of the details, he has great things for us. Our heart posture, that's all he wants, is our heart for him in everything. What we do matters. What we do for him matters. But just because we're not the Billy Grahams or the Mother Teresas of it, doesn't mean we have something to share. Doesn't mean we can't encourage another. Doesn't mean we can't be a part of growing his kingdom. I don't want to be afraid of being judged or looked down on or laughed at or made fun of. When I thought of that, when I read it down, I thought of dancing. Paul loves to dance. And I use him a lot in my talks. And I was always like, I'm not getting out there. You know, people aren't watching you. How narcissistic of me to think that everyone's watching me. Just get out there and have fun. That's what Paul does. He just gets out there and has fun. I will admit that having a leader is much easier than me just dancing on my own. But when you let go and let God, and you're with that, in that surrounding, it's not just me, you know, out there on the floor by myself dancing. But I think of that a little bit because when we look through the eyes, when we look through God as our light, there is really no way we can turn that's wrong, because we always see him with us. Psalms 31 is big in that. Pull me from my trap of my enemies, and I'll be glad and rejoice in your unfailing love. For you have seen my troubles, and you care about the anguish of my soul. Every detail, guys. God is in every detail. So we are not good enough. Only Jesus is. And we have that freedom to choose how to find him more. So I hope that this brought you to dig in and dwell a little bit more on who he is and what he has for you. Don't take your eyes off him. He is the prize. He is the reason. He is the love that we share. So thank you for joining me today. And I pray you have a wonderful weekend. You are never alone, and you are incredibly loved. And when you see him in all of your situations, then he will give you more because you are trusting him. Trust him. All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.